Good morning. Good day. Hello, everyone. What a beautiful day it is today. Already. It's already amazing because we woke up. I feel so good, y'all. I ain't even lying. I'm up early this morning drinking on some nice coffee. They call this, it's so beautiful. I should have took a picture of it. I sure should have, but I didn't. It is so good with caramel, vanilla, and just a variety of sweetness. I'm up early this morning on this coffee habit right here. I am not playing. I had got a message yesterday, so I want to welcome everybody in. Welcome in. Who am I? DebbieCurrySpeaks. That's who I be. That's who I be.
Wake up.
Welcome in. Come on in. Come on in. I had got a message yesterday that asked me if I was going live yesterday, because I guess they're enjoying the book that we're reading, which I can dig it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that, for wanting to know what we're reading and keeping in tune with it and saying, Debbie, what is we doing today? I'm here. I'm here. So the book that we're reading is Love and Respect. And I had to get some better glasses because I was like messing up and everything. My eyes, the older you get, y'all, take advantage and take care of your health, take care of yourself, because we ain't getting no young. We can't put this thing, our whole body system, back up for grabs and renew it. I mean, they do have things like that, robots and all this. I'm not robot. I'm me. So I need to be able to take care of me. So I had to go get some glasses. But we're reading Love and Respect, and we're going to continue on with what we're doing. I think people are enjoying the way that I am giving them a better understanding, and which I thought was cool to, it's like, Debbie, is she coming in? Is we going to talk about this some more? Because we go through things in our day-to-day lives, especially when it has to do with love and relationships. So sometimes, like, we need that extra boost to be able to help one another, to sharpen each other, to get a better understanding of love. And I always tell people when I get ready to read this book that I started reading this book when I was single. So I'm married now. So this is before I got married. I started reading this when I was single because I wanted different. I wanted a fresher way to know how to love. And I was never really taught how to be in a relationship. A lot of us are not. We're not taught how. We learn on the job training. And that's what be messing us up. So while we have the opportunity to talk about and discuss about relationships and things like that, we get a different aspect. You get a perspective from me on how I think what is said up in here to correlate with what's going on with you. And then, we sharpen iron over here. So where we are now, we're not going to even delay. We're just going to keep on going and welcome everybody in the bushes, sitting on the bleachers or at the table. Come on in, get your coffee, your tea, or whatever. I started to get some chai, but I was like, let me stick with the coffee. Whipped cream, chocolate, caramel, vanilla. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that. I don't even know let me get that up off you. That'll be good right there. Thank you so kindly. Thank you so kindly. When I go to coffee shops, especially brand new coffee shops, I don't even know like what I'm like, what do you guys have? I'll just tell you what I like, and you tell me if it fit anything on the menu. So that's how I pick out my coffee when I'm going to new coffee shops and trying them out. And I've been passing by this place for so long, I thought it actually was a car wash. I told the lady, I thought y'all was a car wash. So, but it is so good. The other day I had Dutch Bros, And I found out I've been saying that name wrong because I thought it was called Dutch Brothers. So today I'm having Desert Eagle coffee, which is amazing. I like it. It's pretty good because I used the straw, and when I got ready to taste it through the straw, it took a minute to come up, and I was like, "Ooh, I like you," because I got the blended. You know what I'm saying? But that's no here or there. Let's get started. Welcome everybody in, you guys. So this chapter we're talking about right now is she worries about being a hypocrite. He complains, I get no respect. So let's start. She had been married for 38 years and it hadn't been easy. Her husband has served in reconnaissance with the U.S. Marines in veteran, what is it called? Vietnam, I'm sorry. Y'all look at me already. Vietnam, and had returned with post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of us, y'all, we do have PSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and don't even know it. Like we can get that from previous relationships that we've been in. We can get that from any kind of stress level of high stress levels in our relationships or growing up and things like that can trigger things like this. Like you automatically triggered on some things. So a lot of us have that and don't know we have it. We haven't been diagnosed with it, or you have been diagnosed with it. So you have trigger points. We have to pay attention to the trigger points that we have in our lives, because a lot of us do have trigger points to where we reflect back into relationships that took place before that hurt us or traumatized us and things like that, and never went and got it taken care of, or never really took your time to get to know who you are. So post-traumatic stress disorder doesn't just happen with those that are in the service. It can actually happen from your childhood, from your relationships and things like that. So you have to recognize that you may have those things and learn how to better take care of it. I just want to let you guys know that. And don't feel alarmed if you do have it, because there's things that happen in our lives. When you go from being a baby to a child to a teenager to an adult, that whole transitional phase is scary. You know how when you become 16 years old and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or when you get out of high school, or when you get out of college, or when you go into adulthood, or when you break up in a relationship, or if you've been in a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional relationship. Our family dynamics, y'all, we call them, our family dynamics, or some people call them dysfunctional or whatever. We still have certain type of family dynamics that we go through that can be harmful to us. So don't be alarmed if you have that. Really take your time, get to know yourself, and learn to love yourself. Listen, if God could bring you to it, God could bring you through it, and God could bring you past it. So it's okay to recognize that you may or may not be dealing with something like that. Just learn you and take care of yourself and do better by you. Does it make sense? For years following the war, he dealt with his memories by being an overachiever, and he became very successful. Although a Christian, he eventually got into an affair and became an alcoholic, ruining his health. He is unable to work. Her letter continues. He is away from the Lord. For years I have been stuck on the command for wives to respect their husbands. If the Lord said it, I believe it's true. But I did not want to be a hypocrite. Y'all know what I used to do. I used to be so full of religion. And you have to understand this. There's a difference. Please understand this. There's a difference from being full of religion to having a personal relationship with God. Do you understand that? There's a total difference. You know how I know? Because I used to be full of religion. I used to be so full of religion that I was very judgmental. And it took a breaking for me to let that go, to realize that my focus is not the religion. My focus is the personal relationship with God. People used to come up and tell me, man, I had this question when I first got back on this YouTube. Like, I thought you was religious. No. Listen, I maintain my personal relationship with God. I don't take my God off like a jacket. Okay, God, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take you off. I'm gonna hang you up right here, but I'm gonna go in here, and then when I come back, I'm gonna pick you back up. No, that's not a correct. That's an ignorant way of thinking. Wherever you go, God should go with you, whether it be good or bad, because God sees all and know all. So I had to come up out of that. I literally was in a marriage for a very long time, and I thought that I had to be in the marriage, and I could not divorce because the Bible says you're not supposed to divorce, but there are conditions within even the Bible that tells you that you can legally get a divorce. And reconciliation, irreconcilable differences, things like that, like you have to really go through to figure it out if this is something that is not beneficial to you. And I was in that marriage for a very, very long time because I was so full of religion, of things I shouldn't do, how to do. I was stumbling, making mistakes, thinking I had to be perfect. I was condemning my own self, and I was punishing my own self, and I had the keys to my own cell. I had the keys to my own jail cell because I was so full of religion. It wasn't until I came out of being full of religion that I started having my personal relationship with God. Like, this is my relationship with God. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. I'm going about this thing all the way different. If I expect to be in a relationship with somebody else and have that as my relationship, how come I can't have a personal relationship with God? That's my personal relationship. Don't nobody have a right to come in and disrupt my personal relationship with God in spite of what you think. I may not be who you want me to be, but I'm striving to be a better me for God. Does that make sense? Let me get to it. Many wives find themselves in similar situations, and they often tell me that while they want to be respectful and obedient to the Lord, they don't want to be a hypocrite, going through motions that don't mean anything. Gently but firmly, I respond that I'm not asking wives to be a hypocrite by respecting their husbands, even if they don't feel respected. This really isn't about feelings. It's about how wives can help control the crazy cycle by doing what the scripture teaches. Okay, this is something right here that's very interesting. I used to be told, I did not understand this, y'all. See, because I'm one of those type of people that wear my heart on my sleeve. I literally wear it on my sleeve. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm elated, I'm elated. If I'm hurting, I'm hurting. And like, if I want to cry, I'll cry. Not your heart. You got too much feelings. I'm like, I'm too old to take them out. What are you talking about? I'm too old to think past. I need I operate on my emotions. If I get with somebody and they take advantage of my emotions, my heart, I'm not supposed to be with that person. Because a person that loves you and want to be with you is not going to take advantage of your heart and your emotions. When you hurt, they hurt. When you happy, they happy. They concerned about how you feel and where you are emotionally, physically, financially, all of that. They're concerned about that. If they don't care anything about that, that's the wrong person you're with. That person you should not be with because they don't care about you. They're showing you they don't care about you. Because your emotions, If they know that you are a sensitive person, listen, if a person come in your life, you know when you're dating, you send your representative out there, then all of a sudden, this is a person I want to be with, and you end up with each other, and you end up caring about each other, loving each other, and then all of a sudden that person don't give anything about you, that means, you know what, most times that relationship is over with. A person don't care about what the things that you say, what you feel, how you interact. They don't care nothing about you. It's all about them. Your emotions mean nothing to them. They don't care if you happy or you sad or nothing. They just don't care. They talk about you. Matter of fact, they shut completely down. Don't give nothing about you. That's something to look into. Like, is this really for me? Should I be tapping into this? What is this? Is the relationship over? Where should I be going from here? You have to ask yourself those things, because when you are in a relationship, you're trying to become one person, one thought, one mind, working together as one. Now, you're going to have your own opinions, your own thoughts and things like that. But what I mean by that, in the relationship, by you becoming one, you're moving together as one. If one idea don't work from the other person has an idea that could probably work. Y'all bouncing off of each other because y'all in this thing together. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And if that's not the case, something is wrong within the relationship. You either, one, try to work that out, or two, you let it go. Peter calls wives to respect and chasten behavior in order to win husbands who are being disobedient to God's word. In 1 Peter 3, 1 and 2, obviously wives can go on winning the battle by attacking, criticizing, or lecturing husbands who are drinking, straying, or whatever their problems may be, but they will eventually lose the war. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. An epiphany. We come into an epiphany as women, okay? The feminine. Y'all know how I operate. We're talking about, I'm not just talking to ladies on here. I'm talking to men on here. I'm talking to same-sex relationships. I'm talking to everybody on here. So please don't get it twisted that this is just for those that are married. I said before, I found this book and this reading when I was single. I'm married now. So this worked for married couples, single couples, those been in a relationship for a long time, those expect to be in a relationship, so forth and so on. There comes an epiphany to the one that continues to stress and say, hey, why do you keep doing me wrong? Why you keep making these decisions to act single when you're in a relationship? The epiphany comes when you say, you know what? I give up. I'm not about to fight with you on things that you're doing when you're in a relationship, but you're behaving like you're single. I'm not about to fight anymore. What I like to say, I'm not going to keep adulting like this. You have to let go and let God and let them make the mistakes that they're going to make. We want to stop people from hurting and making the wrong decisions, and we want to step in there and say something to help them. But if you continue with the same old arguing, battling, warring, back and forth, same comments coming out of your mouth, the epiphany come like to, wait a minute. Why am I telling this grown person how to treat me? Why am I telling this grown person to not do me wrong? If it's in them to do you wrong, they're already made the choice up and the decision up to do what they doing, how they're doing it. It don't have nothing to do with you. It's their life that they're doing and that they're making a mistake. Maybe they feel you are worth losing. I hate to say it like that. Maybe they feel you are worth losing, so they're out there doing whatever they want to do. These are things that we need to think about and we need to fall back on. That's the epiphany. Should I sit up here and continue to argue with this person to not do me wrong, to stop hurting me? What does that benefit me? You know what that benefits me? To continue to argue or to continue to say, stop hurting me, stop doing me wrong? It benefits me nothing but heartache and pain and stress and worrying and distrust and all of that. That's what that benefits me. If I'm in a relationship and I choose to be in a relationship with you and you choose to be in a relationship with me and I choose to be honest and loyal to you and you're not honest and loyal to me, why are we doing this? Why are we adulting like this? Why are we in this relationship like this? It doesn't make sense. If you want to be single, go. Will it hurt a person? Of course, because they're putting time, effort, all of that into you and want to strive with you in a relationship. But one-sided relationships never, ever works. A relationship is about partnership. And if we can't partner together to do great together, then you're going to have to let that relationship go because it's hurtful. All the joy you thought that was in your relationship no longer abound. It's no longer there. So what are we doing in this relationship? Because then it becomes y'all begin to hurt each other back and forth. Y'all started out in love, but you ain't in love no more. You're surely not operating in love. You're surely not operating in partnership. You sure not operating in togetherness. You didn't try everything you could do to stop this person from making wrong choices and decisions in y'all relationship where y'all need to be together, but they're doing things in secrecy. The question becomes, why is this person operating in secrecy? You know why they're operating in secrecy? Because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to find out what they're doing. You ask yourself, like, should I operate like this person? Should I do secret things that this person is doing? Should I be the same way? But then your integrity is tainted. Your humanness is tainted. Your leadership of the person you're supposed to be is tainted because you're trying to give that person the same thing that they're giving you. No. You maintain your decorum. You maintain the very essence that make you greater, unless you want to fall back and start over, because once you start making mistakes like that, you have to hit a rock bottom. I don't know if you understand that or not. You hit a rock bottom. There's no other way. You're going to hit a rock bottom because that person that you're hiding stuff from, that stuff comes to the forefront. That person gets hurt behind what you're doing, thinking that you are somebody who you are totally not, because it's a charade. Why are you in this relationship? Why is this relationship happening? These are questions that need to be thought upon. See, I'm not just talking to married couples. I'm talking to those that are in relationships. I'm talking to those that plan to be in a relationship. How do you want your future relationship to be? Do you want you two to be loyal and honest and trustworthy and all that greatness, the ingredients of a great relationship? Is that what you want? Or do you just be like, you know what? Forget all of this. I want to be in a relationship where we're lying to each other and doing whatever each other want to do. No cooperation. I do me, you do you. This is how it is. Is that the type of relationship you're stating that you want? I mean, those type of relationships become a dime a dozen. You can get that anywhere. You can get that from anybody, anywhere. A lot of people will enjoy lying to you. But if you ask somebody for hand in marriage, and you ask them to give up everything to become just with you, and they agree to do so, there's a different formula that needs to be formulated. I don't know if you understand that or not. That means that I only want to go to you with my problems. I only want to go to you with my addiction, so that you know that what I have and what I know that what you have. I only want to go to you for truth. I only want to go to you for my problems that I need help with, so that you know what I have. I know what you have. I only want to go to you with my greatness. You're talking about sharing a life with somebody. And in that, it's not all the goodness. There's some bad stuff in there too. I only want to show myself, my true self, to you. I only want to be uncovered completely when I'm with you, because I love you, I trust you, I just want to be with you. But if you playing around with somebody, and we profess to be grown adults, why are you not honest is the question. When a man is harsh, uncaring, and unaware, the wife can say he is unloving and needs to change, that he needs to correct himself, and I agree completely. Obviously, the man needs to understand her womanliness and need for love. If her spirit deflates and she becomes grieved, he is called to be a man of honor and serve her needs. You all, please hit the like button, please. Even if you're in the bushes and you like what you're reading and you know that you got some sites that you want, it's okay to hit the like button, because apparently you like me. Stop playing with me and don't do me. Come out the bushes, hit the like button, and run yourself back up in the bushes. You know you like me. Stop playing. I'm lovable. I already know it. I'm such a character. All by myself, I'm such a character. So let me finish reading. But here is the rub. Such a man may be called, but he won't necessarily answer. At this point, a wife faces two basic choices. She can try to make personal adjustments and treat her husband respectfully according to what scripture says, or she can continue with a sore look and a negative, disrespectful attitude. Listen, you all, when you are in a relationship and things are not handled, I said this the last time, resentment sets into your relationship. That resentment can be held for years. And I say it like that because you'll get somebody that will come out of their feelings, your spouse, significant other, or whatever it is, and they'll be like, remember when this happened and you didn't do anything about it? You can break somebody's trust within your relationship, or you can make them feel the resentment that they feel in your relationship and not trust the fact that if this thing occur again, you will not handle it correctly, because you have already showed them the type of person you are and the things that you would accept that your partner won't. A lot of relationships break up because of the resentment alone. If he feels disrespected, that's his problem. How can I feel respect for him when he is so unaware of me and my feelings? That would be hypocritical. A lot of times in relationship, you have different ones at different times between the two of you. You have your feelings and you speak on it, and the other person helps you out with your feelings. You walk you through it, talk you through it so you can get it out. But then when they have their feelings, you do not want to listen. You close up, you don't do anything. You just let it sit dormant. That's what we talked about last time. You let that thing sit dormant. Why do that? Why treat somebody unlovingly and unkind, yet they are able to be attentive to listen to what you have to say, but you don't do that in your relationship with them? Why is that? Great question. If you're in a relationship, you're supposed to take on everything of that individual, because it's really just supposed to be you two, but you don't know how to be because you're coinciding maybe an affair along with your relationship, and you're losing that, and you're comparing the two, and you don't know which one like what at what time and how that, because you're confused because you're trying to keep up with both of them. When you ask someone to be in your relationship with you, just y'all two, but you invited other people in, and now you're acting and behaving differently, and which your partner can see that there is a change going on. A lot of times that's where the disrespect come in. A lot of times that's where the unloving come in, because there's no bond right there between the two of you, because it's broken and no one wants to fix it. Or you may have one that want to fix it because they don't understand what's going on. Something to think about. I understand why a wife could feel hypocritical about respecting a man who has been treating her badly, but to continue with disrespect only means shooting herself in the foot. Few wives have real malice in their heart, but their negative emotions can get the better of them. The deepest yearning of their hearts for love is clouded by negativity. Not only do husbands feel they can never fulfill a wife's expectation of love, but now they feel disrespected for who they are. The typical man cannot put a voice to this, but he feels responsible to meet his wife's need for love and somehow try to meet his own need for respect. Y'all, now listen to this. Do you all know that a lot of males do not know how to treat their wives in relationships? Or the masculine, they don't know how to treat the person. Now, this is very fair, and this is something you need to think of, because we think of our men being so strong that they can never be weak, that they can never be broken. But I'm gonna lay something on you right quick, okay? I'm gonna lay just a little bit on you right quick, okay? And men, this does not give you an opportunity for you to take advantage of this. This for you to be aware that we acknowledge. You understand? We acknowledge, but we do give a lot of listening and attentiveness and nourishing that you all need to break down that some of that as well. It's not everybody look at, oh, the women always have the problem. They always in their feelings and this and that and the other. That's a lie, because men be in their feelings too. Let's be real. You all just do it differently. I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff that men go through, okay? Especially minority men of color. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're Native, Indian, Latin, Black. I don't care what you. I don't really care what you are. You're Black, white. I don't care what you are, whatever. But this is because I don't have respected person, so y'all can't do me. You know, God didn't give me a respected person. I'm gonna treat everybody the same. You feel what I'm saying? I put you on a high pedestal coming into my life. Now, if you knock yourself off, that's what you did, not my fault. Men, especially minority men, go through this. They're taught that they're not supposed to cry. So that's one thing. As they get older, become teenagers, they have the authorities that will sometimes pull them over, most times pull them over, and they're already judged. People coming down the street or in a crowd, they're judged because women are clenching purses and things like this. When people are dressed the way they dress, but they get judged on the appearance, especially the men. It's hard for men to get a respectable job. Now, especially if life took them through and they had to go through jail for whatever reason, that's even much harder for them. The weight of the world is on their shoulders because they're deemed to be the head of the household. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very competitive out here for men in anyway. So men go through a lot that we women would never be able to understand or go through. We can't carry the burden that they carry. They can't carry the burden that we carry. So we, on different levels, go through our challenges, our many changes. You understand what I'm saying? So men go through a lot. They carry a lot. Things that they don't tell us, they literally carry a lot. So while they're harboring all of those feelings and emotions, and they're not being taught how to love properly, how to be attentive properly, because maybe they had absentee fathers, single parent household, so they weren't taught how a man is supposedly be. What is the greatest man that's supposed to be the greatest man in their life when they haven't been shown that? So they wear that burden and they try to be something that they're not. So they try to learn from TV. They try to learn from their constituents, the people that they hang around, friends or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They try to learn from the movies. They try to learn from here and there and everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Unless they have a great mentor, it takes them a minute to get it because they go on with their own mental to thinking that they have it. This is the way it's supposed to be because this has helped me out through life. When there is a greater cause or greater purpose or a greater way that they can learn how to be a better them, but they never take the time. And then they become stubborn on top of that. So they carry a lot more than what we carry. And like I said, they were taught, you better not break down. So while they carrying all of this, being judged by the way they speak or the way they act or the way they are or what their mannerism, all of that. Not being taught how to love properly, seeing that, okay, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman. You're supposed to tell her what to do. You're supposed to make her do. Instead of requesting, talking things through, they weren't taught all of that. So they bear a lot. Because a lot of them, they would tell you, I'm a self-man. That means they taught themselves how to be. They taught themselves the way they should be. So then they carry a lot of burden. And then they find somebody that they're attracted to. They find somebody that they fall in love with. And they think that this is how it's supposed to be. And that woman, she's quiet. She's not saying much. She's not saying, she's in the love bubble herself, thinking that they're two on the same wavelength of love, on the same wavelength of this is what love is. When you have two people thinking differently, it just looks like they're thinking the same until problem arises and they don't know how to handle the problem, the situation, or how to speak through. So the woman looks at it like, God, you are so insensitive. I can't do anything. I'm trying to tell you about my feelings because we as women, we talk to talk it out. Well, when you have a man that's self-taught, they ain't been taught how to talk things through. They don't know how. They don't know where to start. To them, it's like I'm being weak. They just don't understand. They never been taught that. They never been taught it's okay to cry. It's okay to be calm. It's okay to relax. It's okay to not be so hardcore. It's okay to soften up to the one you love. It's okay to do that. No. They figured they were taught, look, we were taught the dozens, they talk about you. Then what you do, you at first you find it funny, but then after a while you find it like, man, this man is so disrespectful to me. You allowed it to happen without you speaking up in the first. Hey, wait, that's not funny. You have to make a person accountable in the relationship. That's not funny. Why would you talk about me? And then men, you have to be okay to listen to what you're hearing and receive it. You have to be able to receive it. You don't have to be so strong all the time. You probably cusses your head off, and you probably with somebody that don't cuss at all. And you would never know that because they trying to fit in with you, because they done found a heartness in you that they want to be with you and love you. And then they didn't transform themselves in a piece of you to where y'all cussing together. You don't have to be so hard now. You actually made it against the odds. You made it past the age where they thought that you were going to be defeated. You actually made it past the age that they thought that was not going to strengthen you. It was going to kill you, but you made it through and you're still standing, men. You're still standing. You don't have to be so hard, especially with the one that's loving you, that's with you, that's walking in life with you. You two are walking there. They got your back, you got their back. You don't need to be so hard. You know when to get hard. When something is coming up against you all, you be that force. But even then, you can still be hard and not be so hard at the same time. Because you can conduct yourself a whole lot better by just speaking your words instead of ready to fire off at somebody. See, that's how you become adulting, is when you can speak it through and say what you mean and mean what you say. That's where the respect come in there. You don't have to be harsh by saying it. You need to speak them things that are not as though they are, especially if you married. I'm sorry, let me discuss that with my wife. I'm sorry, let me get with my beautiful queen on that, and we gonna get back at you with that. I'm sorry, I got a partner, so give me time to mull this over. Give me a day. Can I come back at you tomorrow with this as I discuss this with my partner? A lot of times you all make decisions and don't include us, and then we feel left out because you made a decision that we probably wouldn't have agreed with. We probably could have helped in that dynamic to make it better. We probably could have added something to that ingredient and made the recipe so great because it takes us communicating towards each other, with each other. You don't have to make those decisions by yourself anymore. You don't have to put it on somebody's shoulders and let them do it by themselves. You can do it together as teamwork. You don't have to be so hard to where you are disrespectful and no one wants to be around you and they don't like the way you carry yourself, and now you have a stigma on you that people just don't like you. They don't like the way you conversate. They don't like the way you operate. But hey, check this out. You got somebody in your life that's supposed to be enhancing what you all have together. I don't know if that's making any sense to anybody. I thought I'd throw that out there at you. The typical man cannot put a voice to this, but he feels responsible to meet his wife's needs for love and somehow try to meet his own need for respect. This kind of man shuts down in the face of it all. It is simply too overwhelming. The rule, a man doesn't complain and he doesn't cry. He simply grits his teeth and I always have a problem with this word. Compartmentalizes. I did it. Compartmentalizes. That's the word I keep having a problem with. Dumb, right? Compartmentalizes his feelings. He may be dying inside, but he won't tell his wife for fear she'll say, "You don't deserve my respect." So he grows silent. He withdraws, possibly walks away in anger. She has won another battle, but feels even more unloved. Men, this is what you have to stop doing. We know this is the way that you all act. So you're not doing anything contrary to how we think. Women, this is something that we have to stop, and we have to allow men to work on their vulnerability. Because if we want to be able to work on our vulnerability, we're both vulnerable creatures, just different way of showing it. Men, you really do have to stop shutting down. You really do. It's not helping you, and it's not helping the relationship. At the end of the day, you're the head and not the tail. You're the leader. You're the one that we come to. We know that can be strong upon you and the world weigh heavy on you. But when we come to you, and we come to you as communication, you need to be able to communicate with us. Unless you're in a relationship and want to continue down this stronghold for so long, you're not doing nothing but killing yourself. You done made it through the struggles where they thought you wasn't going to make it to a relationship to where you shutting down and you holding it in. That stuff messes with your health and your life. I've said this before as well. During COVID, there were more men passing away alone. They had no one there with them to love them, to see them through their sickness, because they pushed everybody away, or they thought they looked too good and they were cheating, and they were passing on by themselves for a long period of time. If you're in a relationship, you can grow in your relationship together. You literally can grow together in your relationship. So you have to melt that stuff down a little bit. Men always say, well, you women, you got these walls up and we got to break down the walls. Well, you got to break down some of your walls too in order for us to communicate, to get in there, to give you the love, to go right in up under you and hug you, and so you can release some of that out. You don't have to be that strong, especially when it comes to your partner. I don't know if that makes sense or not. We know you men shut down. We know you start ignoring. It's even in the book I just read. We know this. You're not doing anything contrary to what we know. You want to do something different? Open up and start sharing. That's different. Y'all have spooked the mess out of us. Oh my God, girl, let me tell you what had happened. My man started talking. Then women, you need to stop that as well, because you be sharing some of your intimate things with the one person that's waiting to take what you got. You letting them know every little thing about your relationship, so you teaching them how to treat your man when they get ready to take them. Be an example. And women, you had to stop being sneaky and conniving to try to even take somebody else's person. Everything ain't for everybody. I just want y'all to know that. Everything is not for everybody. But when y'all graduate in y'all relationships and y'all jump over hurdles together, there's a greatness. That's time to celebrate one another. That's time to say, wow, look how far we came. Look at what we've been through. We can help other couples to do the same thing. We can do our part. You understand what I'm saying? But men, I know sometimes it can be so hard, but you got to break some of that stuff down. You can't just think we the problem, okay? You just can't be doing it. You're contributing to it. Two in a relationship, and it takes two to make it better, and it takes two to tear it down. She feels caught. He doesn't feel any love coming from him. Showing respect for him seems phony. Besides, if she shows respect, She feels he will get his way. That's what we got to come out of the tit for tat scenario. We want you in a relationship. You can hurt somebody so bad to where they, you know what? I can't. I've been trying to talk to you for this long. It's not working. I'm gonna show you what you're doing to me, and you let me know if it's wrong to you. If you feel like that's wrong to you, can you deal with your spouse doing or your partner doing the same thing that you do, that they constantly tell you that what's bothering them? Can you do or behave and act that same way? Can you do that? Can you accept it? Can you feel it? Can you walk in it? Can you sleep in it? Can you dream in it? Can you eat in it? Can you do and can you hold that down? You need to be thinking about that, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you how good God is. You can hurt the person that you are in the relationship with, and they are so forgiving of you, even though it hurts them, and they continue to tell you time after time what's hurting them backwards and forward. And you continue to do what you're doing. Let me tell you what happened. God will remove that person and bring you a person that's even worse off than you in a relationship, and you think you done hit it good, and that person will dog the mess out of you, will dog walk you. And you're going to be reflecting back on, let me hurry up and run back and get to that relationship. And God's going to bless that person in a relationship with somebody that hears them, loves them, just can't be anywhere without, can't do nothing without them. And God's going to bless them. And the way you're treating somebody is not going to come how you want it. It's going to come how it's supposed to come to you. And you're going to miss out on getting with that person, because God want to bless that person. We all have blessings with our name on it, but if you don't know how to treat something good that God blessed you with, God would remove it from you. You might want to get it together. I'm just saying. I'm just helping. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't do me. Don't do me. You probably need to get slapped. Okay? You probably need to get slapped. Stop playing. I'm going to read that again. She feels caught. She doesn't feel any love coming from him. So showing respect for him seems phony. Besides, if she shows respect, she feels he will get his way. I asked one woman, are you afraid that your respectful manner will lessen your chances of motivating your husband to change? Here's her response. After pondering that, I have concluded that this is where the rubber hits the road. If I trust my feelings or previous experience where contempt has seemed effective, I will be afraid to do it differently. If I step out in faith, claiming God's word as the basis of my own actions, then I am trusting God to bring to pass what he said he would do. I can't go wrong with that. I've determined that is the path I'm going to take, no matter how unfamiliar it seems. Sometimes we, as goodwill people, we wait on God to do what God is going to do. We don't want to treat you how we think you deserve to be treated because of the way you're treating us, and you're not taking accountability or looking at how this is hurting us. Sometimes we wait. And in the midst of us waiting, y'all hit the like button if you all like what you're hearing. In the midst of us waiting, we're hurting. We're not going to forget the hurt in which we're telling you we're hurting. What's the problem of listening to someone hurt and stop doing what you're doing? You shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But we're waiting. Let me tell you something. God can punish a person better than you ever can. Your words that you shoot out of your mouth, because you know that words is sharper than a two-edged sword. But you may get that back too. You may get it back. See, when God does it right, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. What God, look, God created all, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, everything. So a lot of times, those of us that know, we wait on God to move. We just want to be okay that we can hear when God tells us to move. And that could be a job, family, relationships, anything, finances, anything. We wait on God to make the move because God say, be anxious for nothing. Don't be hasty. Don't be so quick with your move. And I said this before. Be quick to hear, but slow to speak. Hear, take your time, hear it. Let your ears hear it first before you speak out, because a lot of times we be quick to say something and slow to hear. And then we had to backtrack and retract what we said because that wasn't really what was supposed to be said. Now they said what they said. Let me continue. Amen. This wife gets it. Obeying God's word does not make a wife a powerless hypocrite. Actually, it makes her a woman who loves and reveres God. This can happen even in the most difficult situation. The lady whose letter opened this chapter put aside her fears of being a hypocrite and tried to be respectful to her husband. Her letter continues. I'm asking the Lord to help show me the way to show my husband genuine respect. I have definitely seen a difference in his attitude towards me. I believe that more good things will come as I continue to show him unconditional respect. After all, the Lord is responsible for the outcome. I've only to be obedient to him, and he will handle what comes concerning me. A lot of times in our relationships, we have to humble ourselves. That's how a lot of relationships last for so long. You come to a compromising situation. Do you get along in your relationship all the time? Heck no. I don't like you today. Well, I can't stand you today. Well, I don't want to be around you today. You know what? I don't want to be around you either. We go through that. Those are real, human, genuine feelings. But when you can talk about and discuss, that's what makes you great. It's better to talk about it before the sun rises, because that's a new day. Because if you haven't talked about it before the sun rises, it carry on through that day, all the way up until you get ready to release it again. So there's more anguish that you have inside your heart, your mind, your soul, and your spirit, because you haven't talked that thing out. You know what I'm saying? And it's better to talk things out face to face, so that you all can look at each other genuinely and eye contact and talking and speaking to each other. And do it without lying or contentment or any strife or anything that you have going on. Be genuine in your feelings. If there is no other way to get that out, then you video chat or talk or whatever, y'all, get that out. You have to remember that you all are representing each other in present and not. A fool's way is something like this. Man, me and my wife got into a fight today. Man, I can't stand her. Oh my God, look at my wife. She calling me. Oh my God, look at my husband. He calling me. I can't stand him. And you're talking bad and ill will to somebody about the person who you eat, sleep, drink, everything with. But you letting them know bad things about your spouse, your person, your partner. Where you get off at? Because when it's all said and done and you back on a good track, looking at your partner, man, you stupid. That's how you treating your woman, man. And they head thinking, man, yeah, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take her away from him. I'm coming for that. He don't know how to treat her. He ain't grown up adult yet to know how to treat this woman. This ain't a girl, this is a woman. Men think like that. I don't know if you all know that or not. While you up there profiling in front of your partners on your woman, somebody else is capping on you and waiting to slide right on in. While you thinking like that on y'all men, y'all know there's some woman that's looking to slide right on in there on your men. And most men, y'all let me be real and let me be true. Most men will let them slide on in. But on some part, most men won't let that slider get the heart. The person that they with normally holds the key to his heart. And he gonna do just about anything to try not to let what y'all got going on out the bag, and you up there bribing him on if you don't do this for me, then I'm gonna tell your wife or I'm gonna tell your partner, and they so scared they gonna do everything that they can for them not to know. But you know what? Listen, here's the part right here that everybody, y'all know, a lot of people who are on my level know what I'm about to say. What's done in the dark always will come to the light. So think you sneaking, conniving, doing all that little stuff. God will let it seep out. See, we got these things that a lot of people don't know. Those that know, we actually have spirit guides. Spirit guides. We have discerning spirits. We have angels, whatever you all want to call it. Let me tell y'all about an incident that occurred with me one time. I was driving. It was raining, it was thunder, it was foggy. I think I was going through the grapevine one time, and I couldn't see. I literally couldn't see. And when I tell you it was raining so hard that I could not see in front of me, I literally saw this white ball-like thing in front of the car. You know, when you get ready to hit the road or whatever, and you get ready to switch lanes, there's the little things in the ground that they put, and you can tell you hit something, it'll go boom, 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 like that. You could feel that. Well, I was like, oh my God, I was starting to wake people up in the car, like, do you see this? Like, I wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping. Am I tripping? Like, do you see what I see? There was a white ball, and it wasn't a ball. This is the only way I know how to explain this. A white light or whatever in front of the car, and I woke the people up in the car. I'm like, do you see this? They agreed that they saw this. I started following that white ball of light or whatever that is. I started following. I didn't hit none of the curves because it was really foggy. It was really raining, it was really thundering, and the roads were absolutely slippery. I started following that ball so that I could get out of where I was going. Do you all know I got out of that fog very clearly without hitting anything? And when I did when I was coming up out of it, it dissipated. It was just, it went away. It went away. I noticed that with me, like I could lose the back of an earring and it could fall. I don't see it anywhere. You know the little clear things that you have your little clear rubber things on the back of your earrings, and you have the back. Well, I like to wear those rubber things because it's not so tight on the back of my ear if I have those. But most times I'm able to just put I just like them. That's just me. I like all kinds of backs to the earrings, but I do like those plastic ones. And I dropped one. I couldn't see it. I didn't know where it is. A lot of times when I drop something and it's so small that where I can't see it, plenty of times I've been on the bus while I was driving, and it would fall, and I would think it fell out the door because I'm the driver. And when I look down, I don't see it. But then when I look down again, it's literally sitting right there. I'll tell you, look, 9/11, my dad died September 1st, a few years back. He died September 1st, but we buried him 9/11. We buried him on 9/11. And lately, those are the times that I've been seeing. And when I see that, I feel like my dad is around me, like he's blocking stuff, like he's showing me stuff. And 9/11 has been popping up like this lately, like that. So we have a discerning spirit that when something is wrong or something is bothering us or something is not right, it stirs up within our spirit. Now, if you don't decide to use your discerning spirit, that is truly your business. But we all have one. We all have a discerning spirit. You can learn that about you and learn it to grow with it, or you can just leave it dormant. Because listen, back up in the day, they say that everybody was given spiritual gifts. People were given spiritual gifts. What is yours? What is it that you can tap into that makes you a unique person to where you can get it? That's a question you should be asking. Exactly. We are not called to change everything or everyone. We are only called to be obedient, and God will handle it from there. I would never claim that this is simple and effortless. It takes tremendous faith, courage, and fortitude, but it can pay off in incredible ways. As one wife who read our love and respect material learned, this is what she writes. It's amazing what can happen when a man feels respected. I knew that I needed to show unconditional respect to my husband, whether I felt like it or not. I started going through the actions, even though the feelings weren't there. After a while, the feelings started to follow, especially now. My husband has been serving just as you said. This last weekend, we had our neighbors over for dinner. And my husband offered to cook dinner. He also washed my car this weekend. He has never done that before. And out of his Christmas bonus, he gave me $500 to spend, no questions asked. He's also cleaned the kitchen and has done the dishes twice now. I've been sending him emails and at work about once a week just to let him know I'm so thankful that because of him and his hard work, I can be a stay-at-home mom to our 2 children. I've made sure the house is clean and dinner is done when he gets home from work. I've also made sure that I'm not wearing sweats and looking ratty. Y'all know what I have to do. When he come home, I'm more pleasant and excited, trusting and obeying God's word because we love and reverence God never ever makes us a hypocrite. When the alarm goes off in the morning, we get up, even when we don't feel like getting up, because we do what we don't feel like doing. Does that make us hypocrites? No. It is a sign we are responsible people, showing respectful behavior when we don't feel respected is evidence of maturity, not hypocrisy. You know, there is a lot of things that we don't want to do. We don't want to go through. We don't want to take care of. We don't want to communicate. We don't want to let the other person know our faults when they find it. We don't want to be honest. There's a lot of things that we don't want to do. But if you want to cultivate a successful partnership between you two, there's some things that you have to learn to speak up and speak on, and correct and not correct, leave alone and fix. There's things in relationships, see, you go through roller coaster rides, merry-go-rounds, They teach you this when you go to a carnival or amusement park or anything. Every ride you get on, look at it like it's a measurement of life that you're going to go through. When you, oh my God, I'm getting on the most scariest roller coaster. Yeah, that one right there, the biggest, scariest roller coaster. You're getting on that. In life, you go through the most biggest, scariest things. The difference is you have a partner to go through it with. If you all are on the same team, you're going to comfort each other. You're going to be there for one another. Good morning, Miss Jimmy. Good morning. You're going to be there. You're going to comfort each other. When you go through that scary ride and you're on there with your partner, you holding that partner's hand, that's the same way you're going to be in life. You walk with each other. You deal with it together. That's partnership. You comfort one another. You encourage one another. You lift up each other. That's partnership. That's what that is. If you can't do that, then you got to ask yourself, why is we partners? Why are we in this relationship if we can't be partnering together? Why are we here? Is it because you don't want to be alone? Is it because you want to be selfish and you want to have your cake, your ice cream, pie, cookies, candy, all that at the same time? But you don't want to be alone? So you're going to make me suffer because of something that you're going through instead of being in a partnership with me in a partnership with you, us in a partnership with each other, and talk and work things through and get over the hurdles together? Welcome in, Miss Rita. Good morning. It's a partnership. You work it together. One don't go by themselves and you stay back in the wilderness or the other person go into the wilderness and you sit there and you watch. I'm gonna sit right here until you come back. You do it together. That's what happens. Now let's continue on. Refuse to play Rodney Dangerfield. Don't stonewall. To the husband who may sense that his wife thinks being disrespectful to him is hypocritical, my advice is this: do not give up. And do not go into your well-worn Rodney Dangerfield mantra. I just don't get no respect. Instead, be a man of honor and move towards your wife even if you are receiving what feels like verbal death blows. Call on that same sense of man honor that makes men willing to take a hit for their buddies in combat. Be willing to take a hit from your wife. You won't die, although at times death may seem preferable. You know, this is what trips me out. When we're talking about men, we talk about women too, but this is what tripped me out about a man. When a man will go over and beyond the call of anything when his boys say, hey, I need your help. But when his partner say, hey, I need your love, why you so clingy? Why you all up on, why you on all this other kind of stuff? You give to other people, outsiders, and you give more than the person that you are in a relationship with. Somebody got to help me with that because that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense at all. Why you go over, and then if you see a female counterpart that's going through something in her life, you're more attentive to than Why is that? But here's the most hypocritical part. If your woman, your partner, was going through whatever you call yourself holding, don't want to talk or discuss, and then they out and about and they can't control their emotions and they start letting a tear out, let somebody come to your person, your partner, and give them the extra attention that they crave and desire from you. How you gonna act? You just gonna sit idly by and be the way that you're asking her to be? Can you do that? Good morning, D. Brown. Welcome in. Can you do that? Can you sit back and allow your person to be received by somebody else? Can you do that? I mean, you're doing it for everybody else, so why not be, what's good for the goose is good for the gander? Why not you accept what you dishing out to somebody else? You being attentive to somebody else, but you don't want nobody to be attentive to who your partner is. Make that make sense. It's crazy, huh? Sit up and think about it. Sit up and think about it. You can be the mature one who makes the first move towards your wife, even though she has seriously wronged you. As you engage her, you can take the verbal heart blows to stop the craziness. In a relationship, either one of you all can stop the craziness when you feel as though deemed so. If one not do it, the other should do it. The thing where you want to get is to the line of communication where you can start being like, as soon as things happen, hey, let's go a different route. Let's not do the same thing that we're used to doing. Let's take this differently. You guys, please hit the like button, please, if you don't mind. Like, subscribe. Can we not do this the same way? Because as I told you all before, if it's not handled, resentment sets in, and resentment can dwell with someone for a long amount of time. That resentment will come out when you least expect it, and you'll be like, wait a minute, hold up, what did I do? I ain't doing it. When actually you didn't handle things that should have been handled at the time that it was handled or needed to be handled. You didn't do it. You just left it dormant and left it alone. Yes, it will be hard and even humiliating, but you can win the heart of your wife. Scripture says, a fool's anger is known at once, but a prudent man conceals dishonor. Proverbs 12:16. Suppose your wife is being horribly disrespectful. There is no question that you have the right to be offended. But as a man of wisdom, you choose to conceal the dishonor. You hear God calling you to make a different approach, and you can do it. If you keep saying that you can't, then you will pursue yourself this impossible. You must distinguish between I can't and I won't. I used to say, I'll show her. In my own marriage, there was a season when it was important to me to get in tune to why I reacted to Sarah. As this notion of unconditional respect surfaced in my soul, I still felt embarrassed to say directly to her, I feel disrespected. That appeared to me to be self-centered, and admittedly, I was uncertain of Sarah's reply. Would she snap? Well, you don't deserve respect. I don't recall her ever saying that, but I distinctly recall thinking it would be dangerous to express feelings of being disrespected. It was much easier for me to send my message indirectly in code by getting angry or going silent in my in my anger. Excuse me, let me take a drink of my coffee. In my anger, I was thinking, she can't treat me this way. I'll show her. And that's how we get into the tit for tat for one another. We get into the tit and the tat with one another. It doesn't give the person that's giving out the mischievous thing to be doing what they're doing in the first place, because they should be held accountable for things that they bring into the relationship that they know if the other person was bringing it, they can't handle it. That's wrong on that part. So I withdrew strangely. That never seemed to work. I didn't realize it at the time, but because I wanted respect, I was trying to motivate her to be respectful by being unloving. Sort of like trying to urge her to be more watchful by poking her in the eye with a sharp stick. There came a time, however, when I knew I had to be clearer. I had to grow up and be more mature, but how could I respond to Sarah so that she could, but how can I respond to Sarah so she could get my real message? As a man of honor, I needed to introduce some kind of change. That's what we have to do in our relationship. You want change, implement change. Start changing self, and self will start changing the other. You working together. The phrase, I came up with this, honey, that felt disrespectful. Did I just now come across as unloving? For more ideas on what to say or what not to say, okay, just have illustrations in here. I did not say, Sarah, you are a disrespectful black widow spider using your venom to devour me. Personal attacks never ever work with anybody. The phrase, I felt disrespectful, removed the personal attack. I was not saying she was a disrespectful person. I was only describing what I felt. My new approach allowed me to express my feelings without claiming Sarah was wrong and I was right. I could say, Sarah, I'm not saying I am right for feeling this way, nor am I saying you caused me to feel this way. I am only saying that I feel this way. I was not necessarily confessing these feelings were sinful, nor was I saying Sarah was an angel. The line, honey, that I felt disrespectful has many possibilities, applications. Sometimes I needed to grow up and not personalize things Sarah did or said as disrespect. On the other occasions, Sarah needed to be a little more positive about the man she married. We forget who we marry. We forget who we're in a relationship with. We forget that we need to be more kind. We need to be more loving. We need to be more attentive. We need to listen more. We need to be more caring. We forget the essential ingredients that bakes up a beautiful cake, a delicious array of sweetness that tastes so good, especially when you add the frosting to it. We forget how we're supposed to treat one another. And we get in that combative mode with one another, the tit for tat, it's your fault, it's my fault, it's this, that, and the other. We forget how we're supposed to be loving each other. But dang, I didn't even know I was going to say that. The icing on the cake. I literally be putting my analogy on what I'm reading. When I stop reading, I stop reading. But your girl, I'm in tune with this. Okay, it's been a long time since I picked this book up, but these are the things that I was getting, and these are the things I'm getting now. I'm literally going by how we are today, how we're treating each other today in our relationship, work, family, friends, partners, or whatever. This stuff that can be applied to this. You, Jimmy, Miss Jimmy, you say amen. But the icing on the cake is when I would add, did I just come across as unloving? Sometimes you had to ask yourself that and ask your partner that and just be real. Why not be in a real relationship together with one another? Be real. Did I come across unloving? Sarah, this gave Sarah the benefit of the doubt, and often she returned the favor. Too many times in the past, I had put her on the defense. Countless times Sarah has said in defeat, it's always me. I'm always to blame. You are always right. You never do wrong. My new approach gave Sarah a break. I didn't say I was always right and could never do wrong. I owned up to my part of the blame. And for her, this was a breath of fresh air. Sarah quickly decided she loved hearing me say, honey, that felt disrespectful. Did I just now come across as unloving? Okay, say a prayer. Miss Jimmy said that she will see me later. She on her way to church. Please say a prayer for me. A good one. Oh, let's see. Granted, these two sentences can feel a bit awkward the first time or two you use them. They are forcing you to be transparent, even to lead with your chin in some respect. But if a couple wishes to address the deepest issues when conflicts arise, this gets to it very quickly. If a couple wants to get off the crazy cycle, this speeds up the process. It certainly has for us. True, there is a risk that Sarah might say, well, yes, I felt unloved because you are unloving and you don't deserve respect. For most couples, that never happens. The power of these simple love and respect sentences is that both spouses feel affirmed at the level of deepest need. What usually happened in this, Sarah says, yes, I felt unloving. I am sorry for coming across so disrespectful. Will you forgive me? Sometimes in our relationship, this is what we need to do. We need to ask each other for forgiveness. Can you forgive me? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me for saying that? I won't ever do that again, or I will try not to make the mistake of doing that again. And if you utter those words, be true to thy words that thy say. Or that's what make you a hypocrite when you're studying saying the same thing over and over again, and you're not trying to fix anything. You're just letting it sit idly by. I don't know how couples do this. I don't know how, and I don't really want to know how. I don't want to be on this cycle. to where you just wrong each other and think that it's okay. You don't apologize. You don't try to fix it. You just go along with the wrong, and then that's it. Don't y'all know a lot of times our lovingly we are connected to our emotions, especially females. Our emotions, we're connected, but when you're trying to, I'm gonna go a little bit deep. When you're trying to be sexually active with your partner, and there's a disconnect right there, is because of the emotion that's involved. A lot of times we work off our emotions. You know how you men get turned off and you don't want to do what you do because you're turned off. You think that you're the only one in a relationship that get turned. You're so good. You are so great and so good that you can't turn your partner off. Newsflash, you can. Your partner probably just haven't told you that you really do turn me off. But a lot of us work with love in our relationship. Is sensitive, there's connected, it's tied to one another. You have to get off that crazy cycle where you're thinking saying what you're saying to each other is fair game and you won't get upset or feel impacted by that. That's a lie. Because that type of behavior gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It works even on our bad days. Having said that, on any given day, Sarah and I can get nasty with each other. We can get stubborn and pout. We can even raise our voice and can give an evil glare. I can shut down refusing to talk. Sarah can stump out of the room. We step on each other's air holes, sometimes with gusto. But no matter what, we both have a firm commitment that we will get to our love and respect sentences before we go to bed. Is your partner safe and secure to know that you two can have a disagreement and an argument and know that you guys' love is not going anywhere? The love is not going. Yeah, we arguing right now, but I know this person loves me. Yeah, we're disagreeing right now, but I know this person loves me. Do you have that in your relationship, or is it one-sided? Your partner, you feel like your partner ain't going nowhere, but you, on the other hand, could be. Your partner don't feel that from you. What type of connection do you two have? Where was I at? The struggle is in humbling yourself, authentically making these two brief statements, and then letting them lead to an honest discussion. If you don't want to see positive change in your marriage or your relationship, you won't go there. But for me as a man, talking about feelings disrespected is in keeping with who I am. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Who are you? Do you carry integrity? Are you honest with yourself as to who you are? Are you? This is a question you should ask yourself. If you don't want positive change in your marriage or your relationship, you won't go there. But for me as a man, thinking about feeling disrespected is in keeping with who I am. The love and respect message provide me an incentive to go there. And when I say to Sarah, did I come across as unloving? She is invigorated to engage me in response. It works. If I can do it, so can you. That's this chapter here. As mature men, we need to take leadership and put this out on the table. We must acknowledge our feelings. We need to feel respected. However, as we do this, we must acknowledge our wife's feelings. She needs to feel loved. This is a fair and balanced approach that allows the two of you to unpack that really happens. Avoiding the whole thing time and again or blowing up each time remedies nothing. It's not going to get you anywhere if you shut down. It's not going to get you anywhere if you act like there is no problem and it doesn't exist. It's not going to get you anywhere to argue about it. It's not going to get you anywhere to fight about it. However, it will get you somewhere to communicate about it, expressing your feelings as to what the truth is of how you feel. You're going to win every single time because communication is the key to the relationship. You're hearing out your partner is hearing out you. Those are great gems and advancing you to the next level because it's something that you both are going to get over because you're listening and being attentive and taking care of the problem together. We were able to talk about sticky situations without the discussion ending in a heated argument. That was the phenomenal part. And we both were laying it on the line as far as admitting to one another, yes, that is how I felt all these years. So we began this new level of learning together. I'm very excited. I already see my marriage improving dramatically. It was like a weight had been lifted from our very countenance when we conversed and came to all the realization we had. Communication is definitely key. By you shutting down, you might as well be in a relationship by yourself. If you think that everything you say is right, you don't want to hear the next person. You're basically in a relationship by yourself. But when you communicate with one another and you take it to the next level, this is a hurdle that you guys are getting over. You don't need to come back to this no more because you guys have settled it, got it together. It's out of your system. And step by step, remember that, step by step. So if you fall, you stumble, you come back, you get the same thing until it's out of the system. Because sometimes, like I said, resentment can set in because you didn't handle it at first and you let it stir up strife in you. It's going to take some time to get out of. Be careful what you do and what you say in your precious, precious relationships. Admittedly, this takes guts. And this is not ever easy to do, but like this says, it takes guts to be able to communicate truth and earnestly and honestly in your relationship to take you to that next level. One man told me this right here. I see my wife's anger and hate for me. And at times, I just don't know how to deal with this. I know that she's not asking for a lot, but I have never really been good at communicating with her and don't know how to start and then continue doing it. Like I said, a lot of people weren't taught in relationships how to relate with one another. That's the part of the relationship that people is not getting. Listen to this very careful. Relationships. You have to rely on your communication in your relationship. Does that make sense? A lot of men weren't taught to communicate. They weren't taught how to communicate. They may grew up in a house full of women. Some get it to where they understand what a woman goes through. Some don't. You can be having a 2-parent home or you can have a single-parent home. Some can lose it by not paying attention. But most times, a lot of men, they didn't grow up to communicate. But it's not too late for you to learn, especially if you desire to be in a relationship, you are in a relationship, you need to fix that. Always be renewing of your relationship. Always rely on keeping your relationship fresh. People get out of a relationship, they be like, oh my God, it was so dead. I just couldn't. You would prefer to go into another relationship, learn that thing all over again, and then end up behaving the way that you did in the previous relationship. Instead of fixing the relationship that you're in, because both of you all are sad. Something is wrong with the both of you. Fix what you have. What was that? Okay. I'm tired of fighting with her. And many times I avoid communicating so that it does not escalate into an argument. She perceives my lack of communication as not caring or being dishonest with her. I just don't know why it comes so hard for me to do. Another husband put it this way. Our disagreements are entered on her emotional outbursts, and my lack of emotion. I'm going to read that again, so please hear this. Our disagreements are centered on her emotional outbursts and my lack of emotions. Some of you all can relate to that. I love my wife and consider myself emotionally about her. However, I try not to allow emotions to control me. I believe love is expressed with action and not with reactions. I do love the emotions my wife has, and I know God has us together. To love and respect each other as we seek to glorify Him. But I struggle when my wife justifies her behavior as an uncontrollable emotional reaction, not only looking for something to condemn her with. Instead, I would like to handle this. To both these husbands, I say, gentlemen. This is the word I like, gentlemen. See, people say that word so quickly, gentlemen. I like to take my time and say it how it is. Gentle men. Gentle men. Say one more time. Gentle men. Gentle men doesn't mean that you're soft, you're this, you're that. No, you're humble, you're secure in who you are, and you're gentle with your love, especially when it comes to your love partner. It is true, you are not designed by God to enjoy contempt, but He does call you to take the hit. In his extensive research on marriage, Dr. John Gottman concluded that it was very effective when a husband could embrace his wife's anger. He advised men not to avoid conflict if they want to make their marriage work. To sidestep the problem, to leave the conflict unresolved, would only upset the wife more. The husband must always remember that the wife must talk about what's eating her, You don't want to have a partner where you know if something is eating at your partner. You know that. Please hit the like button, even those that are in the bushes. You can act as though you don't, but it's only going to keep up more argument. Why do that? Why do that? That is not going to make your relationship greater. It's actually going to hinder your relationship the more. As she vents her feelings, she believes she is keeping the marriage healthy and helping the relationship work more smoothly. She is not trying to attack her husband personally, but if you say with her, if you stay with her though, this discomfort and listen to her criticism, says Gottman, she will calm down. If you stonewall, she'll be edgy and may escalate the conflict. My suggestions to fellow husbands is, instead of running from your wife, will you move towards her or let her move towards you? Firing her venomous little darts as she comes. If you're ready to take the hit, you can stop the craziness. After she vents, you can lovingly say, honey, I love you. I don't want this. When you talk like this, I know you're feeling unloved. Let's work on this. I want to come across more lovingly, and I hope you would like to come across more respectfully. Do you understand how that works? Communication is key. So let me say it again so you have it. Honey, I love you. I don't want this. When you talk like this, I know you're feeling unloved. Let's work on this. I want to come across more lovingly, and I hope you would like to come across more respectfully. That which took you a long time to get in a situation in which you're in may take that amount of time, lesser or longer, to get out of it. You then have to ask yourself, is this relationship worth it? I love this person whom I am with, so I am going to make it work. The husband who never stopped loving. One of the most striking examples of a husband who never stopped engaging his wife, even as she tried to deal their marriage a heart blow, came to me in an email written by the wife after she and her husband had traveled 600 miles to attend one of the conferences. When they arrived at the conference, their marriage was held together by a tattered shred. They both agreed it was the best conference they had ever attended. But they went back home with the wife still feeling very negative about the marriage. She was still tired of her life and her husband, but her husband wouldn't give up. The rest of her emails tells the story. One moment while I take a drink of my coffee. This is her letter. This is her letter. We're still together today because For the past few months, he has done exactly what you talked about in your conference concerning his love regardless of her respect. He loved me when I was not lovable at all and held on to our marriage and his family when there was absolutely nothing to hold on to. This past October, I asked him to please leave the house. I wanted to be alone. I wanted space, and I just felt like I didn't love him anymore. Reluctantly, he left for a couple of weeks. I knew what my life and the life of the girls would basically change with a divorce. I thought about the shared invitations and how we would also have to sell our home, which we recently finished remodeling. But I didn't care. I just wanted out. Meanwhile, he prayed, studied marriage books and tapes, and made a decision to love me no matter what. The girls were really starting to miss him not being around. So we decided he would return home until further notice. Well, he would hold my hand every night and pray with me. And for our marriage, as I stared up at the ceiling, anxiously waiting for him to finish, he would leave little notes or a little flower on the bathroom mirror or in my car. So many little things he would do to show me that he loved me and wasn't going to let this marriage end easily. It just irritated me. I thought, he can't be, he can't, wait, can't he, wait, can't be understand, wait, can't he, well, I'm sorry, can't he understand that I don't love him? That I don't want to be with him anymore? Why is he trying so hard? I didn't feel that high in love, feeling for him anymore. My needs weren't being met, so I wanted out. Very selfish and immature. I was emotionally going through something that neither of us really understood. But he stayed there and loved me through it. I'll spare you all the little extra details, but I eventually broke. No woman in her right mind could let go of that much love and commitment. Now, I am very much in love with my husband. I've learned that love is not a feeling, it's a choice, a commitment. Here's where a lot of people make mistakes at. And I'm going to break this down just a little bit further to you. I'm going to read it again so that you can get this. I was emotionally going through something that neither of us really understood. A lot of us don't understand what love is. But he stayed there and loved me through it. I'll share with you. Wait, let me just get down to this part. No woman in her right mind could let go of that much love and commitment. That's number one. The number two part is of understanding this. Love is not a feeling, it's a choice. You can choose to love, you can choose to hate, you can choose to be happy, you can choose to be sad. These emotions will rise up within you. You can choose to keep the butterflies or you can choose to let them fly away. These emotions arise up in you. You have a choice in the way that you should go. Sometimes our anger gets so overwhelming that we want to just be mad. We can love that person, oh my God, to the bottom of the core, to the very essence of us, but we can choose to be angry in that split moment. Love is a choice. What's your choice today? What do you choose to do? What do you want? We didn't become a statistic because my husband chose to love me, no matter what my reaction towards him would be. It's really humbling to look back and see how loving and patient he was with me. Trust me, it wasn't easy. And how he only through the strength of Christ saved our marriage. I can't say we're completely out of the tunnel yet, but we are certainly very close. Love is a choice. Love is a choice. It's an action. You can choose to love. You can choose to be loving. It's an action. This is really little to add to this woman's story except amen. Her husband understood, like how we said today, her husband understood the assignment. Even when it seems there's no way to understand, her husband engaged her even when she would roll her eyes to the ceiling as he prayed. Talk about disrespect, not to mention a lot of times, y'all, let me go here. A lot of times in our relationship, we don't want to hear what each other have to say. Because a lot of times in our relationships, this is what we do. We cover up. We deny what the other person is saying. We're not trying to hear it. We ignore. We do all these little things. We argue back and forth. We gripe instead of sitting down and having an open line of communication to discuss the realness of the realness of the realness. The bottom line is he won the game. And that's what a lot of people think that is. Love is not a game. Love is real. What we go through with each other is real. You have a right to feel the way that you feel. You have a right to it. But can we learn, because we're adults, to speak it differently, to be considerate, to understand, to come with understanding, to be slow to speak but quick to hear, so that we can converse, communicate back and forth with each other to fix the problem that is broken? Us, the problem, us, the problem, us, the problem, us. We need to fix us. We need to be okay to be able to fix us. They won the game, and they are together today because he was willing to do whatever it took to stop the crazy cycle. When she finally got the message and wanted to stop it too, then she finally got the message and wanted to stop it too. No matter how desperate or hopeless a marriage may seem, if husband and wife or partners, you guys, both have basic goodwill in their hearts, they can stop the crazy cycle. But like the husband who never gave up, they have to be willing to do whatever it takes. In saying, do whatever it takes, I mean, winning within the boundaries of the law of Christ. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 21, Christ's laws may mean constant giving and forgiving. Love proves a multitude of sin. Covers a multitude of sin. 1 Peter 4:8, Matthew 5:38 through 46. But Christ's law may also mean turning someone away from a multitude of sins. James 5:20, Matthew 18:15. Love must be tough. To know which approach to take in your marriage, seek godliness, wise counsel. That's why I say in your marriage, you have to be okay to, if you need to, seek counsel. If you need to. Most times we need a third party in there to help us to decipher what's really going on, to hear your side and their side so that it could be put together. Because a lot of times when we get into our relationships and we get upset, we're not listening to each other. We're not listening. We're not trying to hear what you got. I'm right, you're wrong. No, I'm right, you're wrong. We're not listening. We need that third party in there to listen to us. I know for me, my husband and I, we have a marriage counselor. We haven't talked to in a minute though. And we have friends. Like for me, I'd rather go to those that's been in my marriage to like and if I'm going through something like really, 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 really hard, I like to speak to those that have been in my marriage, at my wedding, because they stood and they witnessed our marriage. They witnessed our love. So I would rather speak to them, and I know for a fact that if I come to them and I have a problem, they're gonna keep it 100 with me, a buck, a bill. They're gonna do all of that with me. They gonna do all of that with me. They're gonna keep it real. They're gonna hear my side. They're going to ask me about what do I think about his side. And then they're going to give me the opinion and they're going to give me their opinion. And this is why I love the people that I've chosen to be at our wedding, because when they talk to me, they some real ones. They don't play with me because they know I'm real. I speak real. So if you know I speak real like this, you can imagine how the people I really can relate to, how they speak. They keep it 100 with me. You got to be 100 with me. You can't play with me. You can't play with a person like me. You can't come to me with no half step and stuff. Like on here, the people that follow me and they see me like the last time I did a video and I was like in my feelings and like crying and the main ones, they were like, they came out. They came on a video. They came in the chat. They were like, wait a minute, Debbie, woo, and they sharpened me. I have people that are around me that communicate with me. They're strong individual, and they speak truth. They speak truth, and they come at me with that real. You and I can be in a relationship with these people. They can be our friends, right? Even the people on here on the chat, they'll come over to your chat and they one way, and they'll come to me and they'll treat me differently because of the way we operate. We're totally different people, so they may approach me differently than they will approach you. They're gonna keep it 100 1,000 with me. Because they know I'm an emotional person. So I wear my heart, my soul, my spirit. You don't know I'm coming real. When I speak, I listen. I've always was taught, let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. That means let your yes be yes and your no be no. So if I'm saying something, I'm really coming off the bill with it. I'm not playing with it. This is me. This is who I am. You feel what I'm saying? So you have these people that come over here. They will be like, Debbie, such and such, woo, woo, woo. And they'll even tell me, well, Debbie, nope, keep doing what you're doing. Don't get involved in that, nope, because they can see me. You feel what I'm saying? Now, y'all can imagine the people that are around me for real, that know me for real, how they come at me. They keep it 100 with me. You have to be real with me. You can't be fake and phony with me. One, I'm going to see straight through you. I may not say nothing at the time, but I can see you. You're very clear to me. You're very transparent, clairvoyant to me. I can see you because I'm in tune. You feel what I'm saying? So I'd rather go to the people I like people that's rocking with me, that communicate back and forth with me. I like what they have to say. But the people that are in my personal life, like they come real. They don't be playing with me. And I can appreciate real people. I definitely can appreciate real people. I love it. Let me see, what was that? Of course, doing whatever it takes can take you where you may not want to go. As I counsel couples and conduct seminars, I constantly find wives who have been so hurt and even abused that they don't think they can forgive their husbands. And I find husbands who just don't know what to do when she won't forgive. They keep saying to themselves that they've blown it again. And they eventually start thinking, could anybody live with this woman? I'm certainly not having much luck. And then, y'all, I'm going to end right there. And the next chapter we're going to speak on is going to be this. She thinks she can't forgive him. She says nobody can love that woman. He says nobody can love that woman. I'm sorry. So, in conclusion of what we've read, we've been on here for 2 hours. I see that some of you all are probably asleep. You're probably coming back for the replay. I appreciate you, and I thank you if you do. I thank all those that stayed to the end. I thank all of those that hit the like button. And I thank all those that subscribe. Hold on, I thank my supporters. We own this book because we need to learn. We need to know and learn how to love one another. We make mistakes in our relationships, and we don't mean to, but we do. There's no way around it. Either we get along at one moment, we don't get along at the next. We like each other, then we love each other, then we can't stand each other. Things happen in relationship, but what are you willing to do with it? Are you willing to fix it, or just let it stay jacked up and you just add to it? You got to ask yourself those questions. Well, I'm glad that we got this far and we learned a little bit more about ourselves, because that's the only thing that we can do. Learn every single day for us to do better. So I am going to end. And as I end, I want you guys to go visit other people's pages, okay? Y'all know how I do. Y'all know what I say. Just try not to get blocked. Try not to get blocked. Enjoy yourself. And I will see you guys next time, or I'll see you guys in these YouTube streets. But always stay woke, okay?
Wake up.
Thank you guys for joining me.